This story is the definition of a democratic free speech scandal. An American cancer patient, a Trump supporter, and a mother of two, Deborah Anderson, was confronted in her own home by British police. Instead of protecting the public from violent crime, Thames Valley. Police officers decided their time was best spent policing opinions online. Back in June, an officer arrived at Deborah's door. He told her a complaint had been made about her social media posts. Which post? Which law had she supposedly broken? He didn't say. What he did say was even more chilling. He was there to extract an apology. If she refused, she would be questioned down at the station. Think about that for a moment. A foreign citizen, battling cancer and undergoing chemotherapy, was pressured by British police to apologize to a stranger, an anonymous complainant, without even being told what her crime supposedly was. Deborah, quite rightly, pointed out that she's an American citizen, a member of the Free Speech Union, and that the police should be dealing with burglaries, rapes, and violent crime, not hurty words on social media. But instead of backing down, the officer pressed on. Apologize or else. To make matters worse, Deborah is still left in the dark. The police have since dropped their investigation, but only after the Free Speech Union took up her case. And even now, Thames Valley Police claim they accidentally deleted the record of the complaint. Convenient, isn't it? They couldn't even tell Deborah what she was supposed to apologize for in the first place. Meanwhile, these are the very same officers tasked with guarding President Trump during his visit to Britain this week. What would he think, knowing that while he's being protected, his own supporters, including US citizens, are being harassed and threatened with arrest by the very same force? This is the absurdity of modern Britain. Police begging for more funding, yet spending their resources banging on doors to demand apologies for offensive Facebook posts. You couldn't script it. And now, here's the footage for you to see with your own eyes. Let's have a watch. But first, hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more.
You can come in, but you better have a damn good reason for being here. I'm a member of the Free Speech Union, and I'm an American citizen. I'll have Elon Musk on you so quick your feet won't touch.
Something that we believe you've written on Facebook has upset someone.
You're here because somebody got upset. Is it against the law? Am I being arrested?
You're not being arrested.
Then what are you doing here?
My plan was, if you were admitting that it was you who wrote the comment, you could just make an apology to the person.
I'm not apologizing to anybody, I can tell you that.
The alternative would be that I have to call you in for an interview. I'm here to talk to you about the allegation. They've reported it to the police.
So what?
Obviously, we get a lot of reports like that.
Are there no houses that have been burgled recently? No rapes, no murders?
Yeah, that's all going on as well.
Well, then why aren't you out there doing, investigating those?
Because I've got to investigate everything that gets reported.
Well, you're not investigating houses being burgled.
No, that's not my job today. I'd like to have a look at the comment that
I don't need to. I know exactly the things I've said. You know how many people in this neighborhood have been broken into?
I don't look after this neighborhood.
No, of course you don't, unless there's a tweet, then you do. So what? I haven't broken any laws. So you're going to be wasting your time when you can be, instead, doing things that are more important.
That's why I wanted to just come to you directly, have a chat about it.
No. You should not be doing this. I'm a cancer patient. You can see that because I'm bald.
I didn't know that before I came, but it doesn't change anything. You still can't break laws. If you haven't broken a law, then nothing happens.
Well, you know whether I've broken a law. You can judge for yourself before you even show up at my door. The public knows what you guys are doing. We know what's going on in this country. Why don't you do that? Get on to them and tell them to apologize to me, a cancer patient, a woman living on her own, who has never broken a law in her life, by the way. Ever. An older woman, you tell them, I'm an elderly woman, I'm a cancer patient.
I have to come back and arrange an interview then.
Well, you can arrange it, but I'm going to tell you the same damn things that I'm telling you now. Next time, I'm going to have a Free Speech Union lawyer with me.
And there you have it. An American mother fighting cancer, forced to defend herself in her own home because British police now see it as their role to police speech instead of crime. No clear charge, no transparency, and in the end, no explanation because the record of the complaint was accidentally deleted. This is where we are. People are being intimidated into silence while the police turn a blind eye to the very crimes they claim they don't have the resources to solve. Free speech in Britain is hanging by a thread. And if this can happen to a US citizen, imagine what's happening to ordinary Brits every single day. If you believe this is wrong, if you believe in the right to speak your mind without police knocking on your door, then don't let stories like this be buried. Share this video, get the word out, and make sure more people know exactly what's happening in our so-called free society. In other news, the EU has told Britain that it will not sign a deal to remove red tape on food imports unless the government says yes to freedom of movement for young Europeans. The Prime Minister is under intense pressure to get the deal done as he attempts to entice voters back with cheaper supermarket and household goods by 2027, as pledged in Labour's election manifesto. Pressure on a sanitary and phytosanitary SPS agreement with the European Union, EU, to be signed has increased after food inflation hit an 18-month high. Labour's EU negotiator, Nick Thomas-Simons, met with his Brussels counterpart Maroš Šefčovič on Wednesday morning. After the breakfast meeting concluded, Mr. Thomas-Simons said, "Our target for the SPS agreements, which will benefit our agri-food industries, is to have them implemented by 2027. An agreement in principle for an SPS deal to be signed was reached in May, but the EU has said that any progress to sealing the deal hinges on a youth mobility scheme. The proposal would grant freedom of movement for Europeans aged between 18 and 30 years old, a group of over 73 million, to live and work in Britain." In January, German Ambassador Miguel Berger said that the scheme would be an important element of any deal reached with the Labour government. Despite previously saying that Britain had no plans to open up its borders to the EU, Mr. Thomas-Simons has repeatedly refused to rule it out. It is said in the latest round of talks, the Labour minister was told the scheme was Brussels' #1 priority, and it would not budge until it is satisfied with the number of European youngsters allowed to move to Britain. After a particularly dry summer, Britain's agri-food industry has said it faces increased costs as a result of a poor harvest. One European diplomat told The Times, "Doing an SPS deal is more urgent for the Brits than it is for us. It is not our big priority in the negotiation, and if the UK wants that agreement by 2027, there will have to be movement and a deal on youth mobility. Numbers and the limit on numbers will be at the centre of that negotiation." In a speech delivered to the College of Europe, Mr. Thomas-Simons appeared to talk up the proposed scheme. He said, "On youth mobility, we believe that giving the opportunity for young people to learn and get experience is vital. Giving young people across the UK and EU a chance to study, work, live abroad, build friendships, understanding and creating opportunities." However, it is understood that Britain will aim to reach an agreement on a version of the scheme which is more mutually beneficial in a bid to wrestle back control of the negotiations. According to UK sources, any scheme agreed would need to have a hard cap as the Prime Minister attempts to get a grip on immigration numbers. Last year, Mark English from European Movement UK called on Sir Keir Starmer to heed Brussels' calls for freedom of movement for its youth, saying, "It is time for a grown-up discussion, so the government should reconsider its inexplicable hostility to a youth mobility scheme with the EU. After all, the UK has youth mobility schemes with 13 other countries, including Australia and Japan, so it makes sense to have one with our nearest neighbours and closest partners." What are your thoughts on what we discussed in today's video? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you have not yet already, make sure you do drop a like on this video and subscribe to the channel for more British content. Thank you, take care, goodbye.